Doors are closing. Next stop, Love Jones, a mixtape for Roots L, J, A, and M. This is a soundtrack of the city. This is a soundtrack for the people. Please play at a volume the ancestors can hear. For your listening pleasure, please stand close to the edge. Thank you for riding.
Hey, look, I'm supposed to play a record for you.
Well, I didn't see that coming.
Bastard of Green Manor Apartments. Uptown baby born in the slow pumping heart of G-Town. Uptown lucky born west of Brickyard, where black girls with difficult names jump double dutch in the parking lot. The click-clack of barrettes and cuss words they learned in the barber shop. And Muslim boys as perched sparrows on the Ave. Beards peeking through black skin like budding roses. Oil strapped across their chests. Sweet artillery named Amber White and Louis V. The scent that carried you back to your mama's house even if you didn't want it to. God bless the poppy on Wayne whose name you never learned. The brown men in the dollar store whose names you never learned. The homemade incense bought and burned in your windowsill. The day's soda staining your cotton mouth red. The rivers flowing through the cobblestone cracks after a soft rain. Uptown baby who never left her block. Remember that time they found a body in the chicken spot? Or the time that bakery on Schoolhouse got busted for crack? How the neighborhood didn't stop moving for a second. How it didn't even blink. Because that body wasn't nobody's business. Because the white prep school mothers were the real threat. Because the men with tattoos on their cheeks called you sister. And the poppy whose name you never learned let you slide when you were short a quarter. Because safety was not always about life and death. Because safety was about feeling seen. So you went to Chestnut Hill to take up space, and the white folks still asked what you were doing there, even when you were standing in a wide open field. Uptown baby begging for the bright soft of clean grass. Uptown baby buying blueberry blunt wraps, smoking G-Town brown on Mermaid Lane. Bastard of Green Manor, born west of Brickyard, where niggas ain't really dying like that, but they still dying though, and you never learned their names cause you never left your block. G-Town as an ocean where every brown face is a current. G-Town as an ocean where the police are the white caps signaling a storm, where if the tide comes in, the corner boys just move to higher ground. G-Town as a lesson in preservation, where niggas ain't really living like that, but they still living though. Cause the Jamaican spot that gifted you your first platter is still there. The library your grandma used to take you to is still there. The home that your father died building is still there. Your mother is still there. In the kitchen. In the house shoes you bought her for Kwanzaa. Washing collard greens in the sink. Sunday dinner singing from the stove. Setting the table for folks just passing through.
Everything I've ever stood for.
You've got to learn to leave the table when love's no longer being served. Nina Simone. When love is no longer being served, I stay seated and finish off the scraps. I chew the gristle off all the bones, then eat the bones. Sop up the last of the gravy with a dinner roll. knock the crumbs loose from the bread basket. I drink the melted ice and the pink remnants in all the wine glasses. I pour out all the salt, press it into my mouth grain by grain. The bitter sad of it burns my tongue with the taste of tears, and I consider that a better, easier way to deal with heartache would probably be to cry, to get up from here and leave with my dignity in tow, but instead, I down all the pepper too. I scream for dessert, for dessert, for dessert, and when none comes, I smash all the fine china, knock the wine glasses to the floor. I tear up the tablecloth and pound my fist against the tabletop until nothing is left but sawdust, until there is no table left for me to leave. And why does love always seem to end like this? With shattered glass and a fistful of splinters and me, still unbearably hungry.
Well, I don't care what they call you. I'm your mother, and I think I know what's best for you.
A white college student proudly declares to her visiting parents, "You see those sneakers hanging from the telephone wires? That means someone sells drugs there. You see those sneakers hanging from the telephone wires? That means that the rapture has passed and that the believers thrashed in protest on their ascent to heaven and threw down their shoes." Or a high wire walker, as a precaution, tied their laces together before performing their stunt, then fell there. Their laces catching them, they dangled upside down until neighbors could pile enough mattresses. Or someone left their school shoes on the bleachers next to the basketball court. Someone else thought the school shoes looked better hanging from wires than on feet. Or someone relented after getting teased for weeks for rocking Bobos and saved up their allowance to buy a fresh pair of Deion Sanders, only to find out at school the following day that the Deion Sanders are already played out. The sneakers on the wire are the Deons. They are a protest of vapid consumer culture. Or those sneakers hanging from the telephone wire are planters full of dirt. They will bloom in the spring. Or those sneakers hanging from the telephone wire are the city's mistletoe. Kiss someone's. Or those sneakers hanging from the telephone wire are silent wind chimes. Or those sneakers hanging from the telephone wire means that someone knows that the city dump and Africa don't need any more of your old sneakers. Or those sneakers hanging from the telephone wire means that someone on moving day didn't want to write "I was here" anywhere it could be painted over. Or those sneakers hanging from the telephone wire mean that someone thought out loud to a friend, "Hey yo, you think I can get these sneakers up there in one throw?" Or
have arrived. Episode 4, but But They Still Livin' Though is a rap. You heard Uptown Baby by Kai Davis, A Blues for Nina by Jasmine L. Combs, and Sneakers on Telephone Wire by Jacob Winterstein. This mix was spun by Jacqueline Constance. Love Johns, a mixtape, is produced by Philadelphia Contemporary. Till next year, with sisterly affection.